found out I was pregnant. Vlogging because I really had all intentions to want to film my pregnancy. I'm 35 weeks, 5 days. It's been so long since I've picked up the camera and made a video about everything that has been going on. Before I get into the biggest, most exciting thing, I'm just gonna quickly talk about my last video and where I was literally like a year ago. We moved from New Jersey to Missouri. I was living in a camper with 2 small toddlers, and this thing was not like big at all. And we're in the middle of building our new house and trying to set up our whole new life. Clearly, it's pretty obvious that we're in the house now. That's not something that I'm living through anymore. It was just getting way too difficult. So we lived in that camper for just about 6 months, and the most exciting part now, the most interesting part, we moved in the house March 4th, and that same day I found out I was pregnant. I don't want to say that it was a shock. My period came back, and if you guys followed me when I was trying to conceive Sebastian, I was going through Clomid treatments, IUIs, like my cycle was just like really messed up. But you know what, I was like, whatever, like we're just gonna try. And it happened very quickly. And I feel like you hear stories like that all the time where couples struggle to conceive their kids and then they go on to like their 2nd or 3rd kid and it's like really easy. It's like, that's exactly what happened. I was beginning to start to vlog again, because I'm like, okay, we're back in the house, just found out I was pregnant. At 6 weeks exactly, which it could be normal, the nausea hit. I remember I woke up exactly, it was 6 weeks, 1 day pregnant, and I go to the bathroom and it was like a sudden urge. I was throwing up, and my husband came in, he's like, are you okay? Like, what happened? Because I didn't throw up or have any throwing up or severe nausea with Mila and Sebastian. It also was like years since I last threw up in general. Like, I don't throw up. It was actually the same day that we confirmed the heartbeat and the baby was like in my uterus and everything. Really strange. I was like super nauseous early, already throwing up, when that was something I never experienced before that. I wanted to also share some of my ultrasound pictures just to kind of like set you guys up with the whole timeline of everything, because it really was unexpected for me to just completely stop vlogging because I really had all intentions to want to film my pregnancy. I'm 35 weeks, 5 days. Like, we're about to have a baby in probably 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I don't know. Okay, but before I get off track, there's like so much that I can talk about all in this one video, but we'll just go back to talking about the morning I was throwing up, and the same morning we found out it was also a viable pregnancy. I was really worried. Like, you know, I had a history of miscarriages and just it being really hard to conceive and everything. I was like, there's no way. There's literally no way. But that day we saw a baby and everything was super healthy. It says on here 7 weeks, 5 days. Like, that was like based off my period, but because like my cycle was like weird, I was ovulating really late. Heart rate was 126. So anyway, fast forward more, after the first puking episode, which is like really normal, like people like, that is normal, like a normal thing. But for me, it just wasn't normal because I never experienced it. I'm like, okay, maybe it was just like a one-time thing, maybe because like I just woke up. It progressively got worse and worse and worse and worse, where I was like throwing up almost every single day, severe nausea. I was just declining every single day. It got to the point where I went to the hospital. One day was so bad, I couldn't keep anything down. Like, I would try like one cracker, immediately throw it up. I would try this, throw it up, like everything that you could possibly try. I immediately went to the hospital that day. I could tell like my skin, when you pinch your skin and you're really dehydrated, it was like wrinkly and just, I could tell that it was getting bad. Anyway, I ended up getting another ultrasound. I got a private ultrasound. Here's the baby at 9 weeks. Everything was super healthy. And I kept having like some worrying thoughts, like if something was gonna happen because I was so sick. I probably only swallowed about 3 to 4 prenatals the entire first trimester. Besides the fact of being super sick, I tried an anti-nausea medication at the hospital and I had the worst reaction of my life. Like, my heart was racing, my body got really hot. It was just like a really scary reaction, and I'm like, nope, I am never taking anything ever again. So I went down the route of vitamin B6 and Unisom. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, how come you didn't take Zofran? my doctor at the time said there's just new studies coming out that it's not as safe. So I basically was on no actual medication to help the nausea and the vomiting besides vitamin B6 and Unisom. I would just take that at night, and ginger ale was like my best friend. I was starting to get concerned once I hit the second trimester, and I was still really sick, still nauseous, throwing up, lethargic, very tired. Like I was like in bed for days. There'd even be times I didn't even make it to the toilet. I would throw up right on the ground. Like it was really, really bad. I didn't really start feeling better. And I don't even want to say better because this pregnancy has been really rough. I haven't felt like truly myself. Like my health, I feel like just completely declined this entire pregnancy. But I feel like the nausea finally like faded away around 16 to 18 weeks, but there was like other symptoms that I was struggling with. So at 20 weeks, well, this is technically 19 weeks, 4 days, I had my anatomy scan. Everything was, again, super, super healthy. And before I forget, the most surprising thing too, I don't know the gender of the baby. I don't know who this is. I don't know who this is that has been making me feel so sick. Obviously, Sebastian's boy, Mila's girl, so this is our tiebreaker. I've been getting really antsy about it, I guess because I'm literally at the end. I'm like, I want to know so bad. But I'll make another video on how I'm preparing for, I guess, like a gender neutral nursery and what I'm doing for clothing and names and whatnot. I'll go back to my 20-week scan. Everything was good. Still, I was struggling with lots of fatigue, dizziness, just I'm literally so lethargic all the time. And I was like, wow, this is just a really tough pregnancy. It was just nothing like I've experienced before. I was super active with Mila and Sebastian. It was just perfect pregnancies, and then really, really, this has been tough. I actually printed all these pictures on like the Walmart app because I actually don't get any like printouts from the actual doctor's office, which I guess worked out because I have all these pictures now. But I just had to like pay for it. I feel like I'm forgetting a lot, but it's just been pretty difficult. I'm gonna talk about now when I'm 29 weeks pregnant and we test for gestational diabetes. I had false results, false positives, like the 1 hour I would fail with Mila and Sebastian and go on and do the 3 hour, and I was completely fine. So I'm like, it's probably the same thing's probably gonna happen. And the doctor's like, okay, instead of doing the 1 hour and instead of doing 3 hour, there's the 2 hour glucose test. So it's pretty much the same thing as the 3 hour, except 1 hour less. You go in completely fasting, like not eating or drinking anything, and you go in and you drink 75 grams of sugar. The 1 hour is 50 grams, 2 hours is 75, and 3 hours is 100 grams. So with the 75 gram, I took it, and my fasting number was a little bit higher. It was 78. Post 1 hour after I drank the drink, I was 218. And at the time, I didn't really like understand how high that was, but that was failing. And then I think the second hour after, I was down to 134. I've been diagnosed with gestational diabetes, but there's a but. When I first found out, I was beyond devastated, freaking out, had no knowledge on gestational diabetes. And if you have been diagnosed with gestational diabetes, just know it's your placenta and your hormones. I definitely don't have a severe case of it because I can get away with a lot more carbs. It's not necessarily you can't eat sugar, it's you have to be careful with carbs because sugar is carbs. So when you look at the back of a label, like my nutritionist said, don't even look at the sugar, just look at the carbs. The amount of, numbers that she prescribed me, I noticed I can get away with a lot more. I think I've only had my number like spike really bad, and the worst it was 159 after I ate fast food. And this was after I noticed that my numbers were so low. But I think if I just totally eat the wrong thing, I'm gonna, it's gonna spike my blood sugar. But like if it's a natural, real carb, I can get away with it and still have like a normal number. I could talk about the whole gestational diabetes and like how my body's been reacting, but I don't think I have a severe case of it at all. My fasting numbers are super low, and they've been getting even lower the past couple weeks. Like if you're familiar with it, like I've been waking up and I'm in the 60s, and they want you below 95. And people that have severe gestational diabetes, I've noticed, always struggle with their fasting number the most. So they'll be above 95 and need insulin. Like I'm not on insulin. It's just been completely diet controlled. I just have to watch when I'm eating a little bit more. So besides the gestational diabetes, I went ahead and got another private ultrasound to try to see the baby's face. It is 31 weeks. And again, I don't know who this is. I don't know if it's a girl or boy. So far, every ultrasound, it hasn't been spoiled or anything, thankfully. I can't tell. I feel like the baby looks more like Sebastian when I look back at like his ultrasound photos when I compare. I'm trying to find the one picture that like really looks like him. There's a lot over here. This one's really cute too. Here's a picture of the foot. This picture right here reminds me so much of Sebastian. He's currently taking his nap right now. And Mila's down with Gino's mom right now. Definitely over time, I'm gonna do a house tour, but way better than living in a camper. That little like chicken cage right back there was where the camper was. This is the living room, into the kitchen, dining room, obviously front door. That's down in our basement, laundry room. Here's like another better view of it. This is like obviously the main living area. And I also just want to credit my husband because he was a builder. Like, he built this house. This is what he did for a living before we moved here. He was a contractor that just did everything like that. Sebastian's in there right now. Their bathroom. Mila's room. This is actually going to be an entrance to our garage and mudroom, but there's still like a lot of work that needs to be done on the house. And so far this is the baby nursery. And again, because I don't know the gender, I just decided to do like these browns for now, and then once I find out who this is, I'm just gonna add whatever to customize it, or I might even leave it, I don't know. I already brought out some baby clothes. This will be the girl outfit, the boy outfit, and then just some blankets and just slowly doing some stuff. And this is my closet. And so far, I brought up all of my baby supplies, all my older pump parts and stuff. That's one pro about having your third baby. I have so much stuff. I've literally only bought a handful of new things that like you have to. Like, I'm reusing all of my Medela bottles. That's my pump that I've had for 4 years. And through insurance, I actually, because it was free, I'm gonna try out the Spectra pump, so I'll let you guys know how that is. You guys know I already reviewed the Mom Cozy, and yeah, like this was like one thing I had to buy that was new pacifier. And this time too, I'm using this little caddy, so I'm gonna put all like diapers, wipes, pumps, whatever I need. That's just Gino's closet. Our bedroom. And then our bathroom. That broke right there. And this has been my station. I've been logging all of my numbers, and then this is the glucose monitor for gestational diabetes. So in 2 hours after my first bite of food, I have to be below 120. I was at 80 at my last meal. Breakfast was 89, and then 6:26 a.m. was 68, which is like even the glucose monitor saying like I was too low. So again, I'm gonna make another video about my gestational diabetes and just talk about that more. Unfortunately too, I mean, so far it's been okay. I had a couple high blood pressure scares. I was getting really nervous thinking, great, gestational diabetic, now I'm gonna have preeclampsia, but so far everything's been okay. I still just can't believe I'm pregnant and about to have another baby, like so soon. I wore these last time too, but these are actually like postpartum underwear, but I lift them up like this, and it just kind of gives me some support for my belly right now. This is one of the last things that I'm also dreading, is the hospital bag. There's like nothing in here so far. As soon as I get to that, I can share what's in there too. I'm deciding to do just one suitcase, obviously for Gino's clothes, my clothes. There's like barely anything I have to bring for the baby. But one of the main things is when I was bringing the small duffel bags, I noticed I had trouble bringing home the stuff, the free stuff that you get from the hospital. Like they give you a lot of stuff for postpartum. I got extra pump parts, like all this extra stuff. So I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna do one big bag. So it's literally one bag. I don't know, it seems ridiculous, but I feel like it's just a little bit more convenient, and I'm not like bringing like a crazy amount of like overload of stuff, because I already know like what's necessary and what's not necessary. I'm probably forgetting a lot, but that's pretty much my update for now. I'm pretty much almost on baby watch. Next week I'm 36 weeks pregnant. Today is actually October 20th and I'm due November 19th, and I'm really hoping I make it to my due date, like for many reasons. Like I don't want to go early, I mean unless it happens naturally, but like I'm planning on not getting any sweeps. I don't know if I don't know, we'll see how I feel about getting cervical checks, but I just want baby to stay in there as long as possible and like no intervention or anything like that, because last time I feel like that caused my prodromal labor with Sebastian, because I kept getting membrane sweep. We're due for a baby so soon, and I can't wait to find out like the gender and everything. It's just like so exciting. Anyway, I'm gonna end the vlog here and hopefully keep vlogging throughout the rest of the pregnancy until I have this baby and we all meet who this is finally. But I'll see you in the next video.